So this is a brief tutorial on how to get started in Star Citizen. So the first thing is options, and you can see that there's a variety of game settings that you can set. You can set show hints and a variety of different options in the game. Later on, as you're kind of going through the game, you'll learn a little bit more about how these work. You can set a variety of joystick settings, mouse settings, sensitivities, and so on. It's a fairly numbing array of options. For the graphics, you can set the gamma, the brightness, and the contrast. I set the resolution to 2560 by 1440. I can play at 4K, but the frame rate tends to be a little low, so full screen. So if you set the low or medium settings trying to get better frame rate, all you'll do is put it to your CPU, so make sure you set it to high or very high. If you have problems with frame rates, you can set the clouds to off or medium. You can change your field of view to fairly narrow to fairly wide. And I tend to keep VSync off because I have a G-Sync monitor, and I turn off sharpening and chromatic aberration and film grain. For audio, you can set your volume settings here. I turn the volume off for music. You can see the other settings there. Turn combat music off. It'll change the music to sort of an exciting combat music if you don't. You can set inversion settings for throttles, and you can see there's some mouse sensitivity settings here, and mouse smoothing. Key bindings, a lot of key bindings. So you can see the mouse controls for flight, quantum travel, B, get out of your seat, eject, mining mode, scanning mode, quantum travel mode, missile operator mode. And you can see self-destruct, hold and press backspace. Flight systems ready means turn your ship on, press R. So spending a little time just kind of going through these and understanding what they are is good. And then you can set microphone, volume, and all of your other things related to, if you've got a camera and want to use face over IP, you can do that. Head tracking, if you've got track IR, and so on and so forth. All right, so click on Persistent Universe, and when you first come in, you'll be brought to this screen to create your character. Basically, what you do is you select a head. You can then blend it, if you wish, with another head to kind of create a more unique character face. And then what you can do is you can blend the two. You can choose from a variety of hair styles and colors. Some of them obviously for women. All right, so up here you'll be able to, on your first time in, you'll pick which place you want to set as your primary residence. That's where all your stuff is going to be. That's where when your character dies, you'll go to the hospital that is there on that planet, and so on and so forth. I picked Lorville because there's no hospital on the ground. So when you die, you go to a hospital that's up at the space station, which is kind of easier to get back into the game. It does take a little while to load the game, especially if you've got the game loaded on a hard drive. Don't do that. Put it on a SSD. The data call times are, or the data calls are very large. You need a very fast hard drive to get the data onto your computer. All right, so we are loaded into a bed in an apartment in the town of Lorville on the planet Hurston. So basically laying in the old bed, got the flight suit on, took the helmet off before, press Y to get out of bed, and you're out of bed. press F4 again to change camera view and get back to first person view. Just use the mouse to look around, WASD to move around. Press Control to crouch. Control to stand up. Now I can press I for inventory. So here I've got access to the inventory that I have on this planet. So essentially this is my magic bag for this planet. So I can pick a helmet, put it on, I can take it off. I can, like I said, take the helmet off, take the flight suit off, and I can put on civilian clothes, civilian street clothes. You see there's quite a variety of clothing options that you can purchase in the game with in-game credits that you earn from missions. A variety of weapons. I've laid on a pretty heavy stock. Can't hang a rifle off the back. These attach onto attachment points on flight suits. See, it kind of highlights, but doesn't really go into the character. But if I grab a pistol and I put it in the jacket pocket, you can see it fills 55% of the jacket's carrying capacity. Can't put it in the hip pockets of the pants because too big, but it can go into a jacket. Same thing with the knife. I can put a knife in the jacket and put it back in the inventory. Alright. So let's go ahead and press F and open. You just press F and click. It opens the door. And what's over here? Look out the window. That is the city of Lorville. It's an industrial city owned by Hurston Dynamics, a weapons manufacturer. They have a bad reputation. As you can see, it's kind of a dingy setting. Again, press F and then click on the call elevator button. Okay, going in the elevator, press F, click ground floor. It'll take a moment to get to ground floor. And out we go. To the right, that looks to be like the Hab office. To the left, kind of a hallway. That's a kiosk where you can pay any fines that you incur through parking violations or whatnot. And there is Lorville, kind of out toward the spaceport. Security is fairly heavy. This is a corporate world that has a somewhat captive workforce that they don't want to get off the planet, nor do they want them rioting. So there's a lot of security around everywhere. Which way? That way? No. That way? There's no signs. You wouldn't know which way to go, but I know to go this way from experience. Looking to get to the spaceport. So in that direction, there's also the L19 residences are back the way we came, and then that way there's a bar, there's a store, there's eventually going to be a hospital. So there's some mission givers down that way too. You can encounter in the game. So we go down this way, and we're headed toward the Hurston Metro Transit line for the spaceport.
Welcome to Metro Center. Transfers to the perimeter, spaceport, and industry lines.
So we can go left for the spaceport line or right for the perimeter line. Now the perimeter line goes around to a series of gates where you can get ground vehicles and you can go out onto the planet surface. but we're looking to get to the spaceport.
Welcome to Metro Center. Transfer.
You can press Shift to run,
Trespassing or attempting to
and you can use the
trespass
mouse
on
wheel to
spacecraft
increase
is a
or
serious
decrease your
and
walk speed.
dangerous offense.
Alright, so now we're on the tram to Teasa Spaceport.
Next stop,
Again,
Teasa
you can press
Spaceport.
F4 and hold down Z to turn the camera view. So our character is actually moving on in the game world through,
Platform edge when train
through the game world would be visible to other players. For example, if we had party markers. So left, you can see there's a map there and some benches. To the right, that's the exit. So we're heading towards Teasa Spaceport now. All right, here's a map. There is no handy dandy "you are here," so we are at Teasa Spaceport. So we took the spaceport line from Metro Center, so that blue line. We're at the circle there just underneath Teasa Spaceport. And then there's another line, the green Commerce line. So if we wanted to take that line, we could go to the commercial center. So that's where Hurston Dynamics business showroom is at. You can buy weapons there. You can do trade there. There's a mission giver over that direction. It'd be good if there were some other things, but there's really not a lot there right now. So we're going to continue on toward the spaceport. Now, you can press Shift and you can run through this. I'm just kind of walking through this to show the setting. A lot of security here. They don't want workers leaving, and they don't want illegals entering into. They want people who illegals. When I say illegals, they don't want people who have crime stats, known criminals entering into the spaceport. So they will light you up. And here we are at Teasa Spaceport. So what you'll want to do to get your ship is go to a vehicle retrieval console, press F, press Use, and then you can pick your ship and click Retrieve. It will bring the ship up in one of the hangars, Hangar 9, and there's a marker there. So you can always look over that way if you need to remember what hangar your ship is at. There are a couple of interesting features here in Teasa Spaceport. One of them is the New Deal ship sales floor. You can go in there to actually buy ships with in-game credits. NPCs bounce around a little bit, but then you can also rent a ship. So you can rent a ship for a certain period of cash per day. You can't change the configuration of the components or the weaponry or anything like that, but it's a relatively inexpensive way to earn some money and then go rent a ship and try it out. And Hangar 9, that's right. So call the elevator, and here it is, and we'll press Hangar 9. These are kind of like Wonkavaders to actually move you through the interiors of the buildings to get to the hangars. It can be interesting to watch the elevators move. If you've got party markers, you can see where people are. Alright, so we enter into the hangar. Again, quite a heavy security presence. And this is an Anvil Pisces. It's a basic ship. It's not a starter ship really, but it's a ship that comes along with another ship called the Carrack. It's a larger ship. So, alright, we need a flight suit, so I'll go ahead and don, or basically put all this stuff in the inventory there. I could do it inside the ship if I wanted to be modest. Oh, I have to get the gloves off there. There we go. Flight suit on, then go to armor, grab a helmet. I had a... Where'd it go? Well, as you can see, I've got a variety of armor that I can put on. I've got a good stock. The deal is when you die, wherever you die, your stuff is there. And sometimes you can go retrieve the corpse, and sometimes it's kind of not convenient. And so I've got a fair stock laid on. Seems like that helmet's nowhere to be found. Just verifying. Yep, I'll put that on. That's kind of cool. Add some pockets. And I guess I'll just throw that helmet on. There you go. Now I'm all kitted out for space. Alright, so we come to the back of the ship where the ramp is at, and press F, and you can see it says open door. I'll go ahead and kind of come back. Now you can be relatively close to it, or relatively far away. Not that far away, but that far away. You can press F and click. Ramp will open. And in we go. Turn around, press F, close door, ramp will close. And I can press I. So we have a vehicle storage. So I can take things from the Lorville inventory and I can put them in the ship, so to speak. So I can put a weapon in the ship, just let it be in kind of the ship's locker. I can hang one off my character's back. Take it off, put it back in the inventory. And if I wanted to, I could take this ship, put some things in it, and take it to another location, and then take that stuff and put it there, stage it there in the local inventory of another planet. So I could transfer things between planets that way. And press F, enter into the pilot seat by clicking. There we go, the ship is off. I'll press F11 to bring up the comms, click on Friends, click on Lorville Landing Services to request departure. They'll open up the doors of the hangar that we're in. I can press R to turn the ship on. And let's see. Okay, I see the doors are opening. The sun's directly overhead. I'm moving the mouse around a little bit there. It's moving the joystick in the game. And up and out we go. All in all, a fairly impressive setting. Let's increase the speed. What I did was I used the mouse wheel. Well, that's the way that you could use it if you're flying mouse and keyboard, but I've got a little joystick on my left stick that I can press up to increase the speed throttle, which is on the left-hand side. You see the red bar, and you can see the speed increasing up through 350 now. Altitude is increasing. I can press a button to look rear view. See Lorville receding behind me. Now I've passed through 13,000 meters. The air is getting thin and leaving what's called the armistice zone around Lorville. So now I'm weapons free and could fire if I need to. I press B to bring up the quantum drive. The quantum drive begins to spool up. That's the percentage scrolling at the top. I look around for various markers. Hurston L5, which is a destination in space. Magnet, which is a moon that orbits Hurston. ArcCorp L5, which is a Lagrange point. Crusader L4, which is a Lagrange point. But this square marker is what I'm looking for. That's Everus Harbor. Square markers are space stations that orbit above cities. Press and hold B, and we can travel there. Press B again. The quantum drive system's turned off. And I go ahead and press down on the throttle control. You can see that little caret next to the square on the left-hand side of the HUD there, the red one there. That shows that I have cruise control on, which means that my speed will be set to that. So I'll approach the station. And I'll look for a landing pad by pressing F11 and then Everus Harbor, because that's where I want to land.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Okay, I get a blue marker that shows where I'm to go to. Could have been off screen, but it would give a little blue triangle to the side of the screen to cue you to which direction to go to.
Landing gear deployed.
I press N to deploy the landing gear, and then I come in for a landing. Nice and slow. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Come down and press Control. You can spin around. I'm spinning around to put the ramp back toward the door. And then press Control, land it. I'm waiting for them to say landing complete. There it is. And press F1, and then press the wrench for vehicle maintenance services, and I can repair and refuel the ship. If I fired any missiles, the restock button would have been lit up and I could have chosen to restock missiles. Okay, the hydrogen indicator is all filled, and let's go into the station. I press Shift U to get up out of the seat and turn the craft off. And I can press I again, and as you can see, I have access to the same inventory of weapons that I had down on the planet. At present, the inventories for the ground station, which is Lorville in this case, and Everus Harbor are shared. So it just adds a little bit of flexibility. It's not as tight, tight a magic bag regime as it could be, because obviously the stuff would be one place or the other. But I close the door so that nobody runs off with my ship, and in we go. With the faceware and the camera, I can look left and right. Works decently okay. It's not perfect, as we saw earlier. Sometimes it gets stuck. Something like Track IR or TowBe would be a more reliable solution if you want face or head tracking. And press F and click on the call elevator, and that's a box. Somebody obviously dropped something there. We'll click lobby and go up to the lobby of the space station. Takes a little while because we're actually moving from where the pad is all the way to where the lobby is modeled on the space station, and it's actually a couple kilometers away. There are pads that are closer to the lobby. If you want to save some time, you can go over to those pads if you know the geography of the station. I tend to not sweat it too much. So I can go to the vehicle retrieval console, and I can request for my ship to be stored. If I'm going to be here for a while, I might want to just get it off the pad just so that nothing untoward happens to it. It's stored at Lorville. It says Lorville, but it's actually at the station Everus Harbor. But again, these locations are shared, Everus Harbor and Lorville. This guy here is a player. Over here, I'll show you something. So it's a window looking out onto the planet Hurston. So that's not, that's not just a picture behind some glass. That's actually seeing the model of the planet. And that out there, that kind of bright spot out there, that's actually Lorville, where we left from. So if a spaceship were to pass by, it would be visible, and flying down towards Lorville. So kind of interesting. So this game does have hunger and thirst. It is turned off at the moment, and I think they're kind of making it a little slower. It was a little bit faster, so it'd be about every 2 hours or so you needed to kind of get some food of some kind or bring some food along with you. This is going to be people will call it a survival game, but you're going to have some manner of provisions with you. So that's the easy hab, where if you log off here at the station, you'll wake up in a hab inside there, come down the elevator, some elevators to some locations. So let's go over that way and kind of take a look at what's over there. I got a couple destinations, the cargo center or the Galleria. Let's go to the Galleria. Alright, so I have a little bit of a lobby here. Stairs up, food court to the right, and a hallway to the left. What's down this way? There's a bar over there. And a hallway up this way. Maybe some kind of space ATM there. And an area to be developed at some future date. Across the way, there's a purveyor of flight suits and armor. A variety of colorful equipment that can be got. I don't need anything. I've got everything I need. I don't need any food, so I'm not going to go to the food court. But I do have some business upstairs. So I come into the admin office, and I come to the trading and shipping console, and I go to sell some goods from a Crusader Starlifter, some medical supplies. I have a ship here that has medical supplies on it. Now they don't take a huge amount every time I go to sell, but it's there, and every time I'm around I can stop and I can sell a little bit more of the cargo that's on the ship. So it'll take a little while for me to sell all that, but I just slowly get that profit over time. So we'll go to the cargo center now. There could be some things over there, but I'm not going over there. I want to come this way. See, there's a rental kiosk there to rent some ships from, a logistics stand, and some store with some equipment, and a Interstellar Transport Guild kiosk. Let's come over and take a look at the rentals. So it won't be the same ships as down lower. So here there is available for rental a Freelancer, a Avenger Titan, and a Cutlass Black. The Avenger Titan is kind of a nice starter ship. The Freelancer is kind of a medium cargo ship, and the Cutlass Black is kind of a do-it-all type ship. You can put a ground vehicle inside of it. You can carry cargo. It's got a turret with a gunner. It's not depicted in this model, but you can rent it for 7 days for 145,000, or 1 day for 27,000. So kind of a deal to rent it for longer if you're going to rent something if you've got the money. No function at the terminal here. Eventually, I suppose there will be. And a variety of goods to be had. And there's some equipment here. Some armor. This is 30% damage reduction. Has some carrying capacity. Has a temperature rating between minus 61 and 91 degrees Celsius. It's pretty good. Okay, back to the hangars and habs. Alright, over to the medical clinic. So if your character dies, there's a kind of a technology that can bring your character back to a hospital where your print is stored. And the medical pharmacy. So, just a standard shop kiosk. Variety of things available. So, some medical equipment here. This is for fatigue and respiratory. We got one for respiratory damage. Got one for detox. So sometimes you'll be drugged up and you need to detox. Medical pen. This is general purpose healing. And opio pen. So pain reliever. Helps with paralysis. The ones that are most useful is the med pen and the oxy pen. And then they sell a medical device. So this is essentially like, science fiction beam healing with injected nanomachines that basically affect the healing. So you can get a paramed refill. The gun comes with a bottle, but you can get refills so you can restock the machine when you need it. But I don't need that right now. So. And that's basically the tour of, getting up to a space station. I could have taken off right from the pad once I had my ship prepared, but I wanted to come in, do that bit of business with selling some medical supplies to the station. And that's really it. I'll talk about more about the other missions later.